Mark receives a call informing that Rendell Locke has passed away.
Rendell Locke is dead.
He responds that he knows what he should do. Inside his house, he retrieves an unusual key from a hidden safe. Suddenly, he plunges the key into his chest, causing his body to illuminate. Subsequently, a fire rapidly spreads through the entire house. But what is the story behind this peculiar key and the deceased man? 3 months later, on the road to Massachusetts State, Nina drives her car with her kids, Tyler, Kinsey, and Bode. They are on the way to their father's residence, known as the House of Keys. Upon their arrival, they are amazed by the mansion-like house. Their uncle Duncan welcomes them.
Welcome to Keyhouse.
And provides a brief tour of the house. Following the tour, Nina begins to unpack her bags, and she recollects her memories with her husband, Rendell. One day, a student named Sam had threatened him, demanding to know the secret of the House of Keys, or else he would kill him.
Bana ters kaldıramam.
The situation escalated, resulting in Sam injuring Nina and her husband. Returning to the present, Bode explores the house and discovers an old well. He takes a photograph of it, but accidentally drops it inside. To his surprise, he finds the picture on the edge of the well. He calls out, inquiring if anyone is there.
Are you my echo?
And a woman's voice responds to him. Terrified, Bode leaves the place. Nina soothes her son, cautioning him about the dangers of approaching that place.
That's not a safe place to play.
An old and abandoned location. However, Bode insists that the voice he encountered identified itself as Echo.
She said she was my echo.
She reassures him that they had a long day and suggests they rest. The following day, Bode finds himself alone at home, contemplating a return to the well. There he calls upon the same voice.
Anybody?
Echo explains to him about the magical keys in their house, each possessing distinct powers. Some keys have the ability to change shape, while others can transport people to different places. Certain keys are even capable of extracting a soul from a body, among other remarkable abilities. Echo advises him to listen attentively to the whispers he hears from objects in the house.
You listen for them. They whisper.
And stresses the importance of keeping this conversation confidential. Back at home, Bode detects a faint whispering sound coming from Kinsey's bracelet. Upon examination, he disassembles the bracelet and discovers a hidden key within it. He removes the key and uses it to unlock the nearest door, leading him to an ice cream parlor. Bode realizes that this key has the power to take him to the desired location. When Kinsey discovers her broken bracelet, she scolds Bode, who confesses that he removed the key from the bracelet. To prove his claim, he takes the key and attempts to use it to travel to the Eiffel Tower. However, when he opens the door, he finds nothing there. Frustrated, Kinsey dismisses him from her room. Suddenly, Bode hears a whispering sound from inside the kitchen sink, and another key emerges from it. Before using this new key, he makes his way to the well and confides in Echo about what just occurred. Echo advises him that he should have a clear mental image of the places he wishes to visit when using the keys.
To travel through a door, you have to have seen it.
Bode proceeds to a room with a mirror, and upon placing the key on the mirror's surface, a portal begins to form. Just then, his mother enters the room and sees her reflection in the mirror, inviting her to come inside. On the other side of the mirror, she finds herself surrounded by spirits and becomes trapped there. In his moment of distress, Bode turns to Echo for guidance.
Echo, I need your help.
For the first time, she materializes in front of him and offers to help, but with one condition. He must surrender the key he initially found, the one that grants access to any desired location. Bode hands the key over to Echo, but she reveals that she has deceived him. The place where his mother is trapped is referred to as the prison of the self.
That key opens the door to the prison of the self.
Echo takes the key and departs, leaving Bode to his thoughts. He hurries back to the mirror room. Kinsey secures a rope around Tyler, and when he reaches their mother inside the mirror world, They pull her out with all their strength. The keyhole vanishes, and Nana appears somewhat disoriented, unable to recall what occurred on the other side of the mirror. During the day, their neighbor, Ellie, introduces herself and mentions that she knew Nina's husband from their university days. Nana shares a photo of her husband. Ellie scrutinizes the picture, and it appears to stir long-buried memories within her. She apologizes to Nina and abruptly leaves because she left her son, Rufus, alone at home. As for Bode, he hears a whisper guiding him to another key inside the vacuum cleaner. When he tries to use this key to open a door, nothing happens. To understand the nature of this mysterious key, Bode visits a locksmith's shop and shows the key to the salesman. After examining the key, the man says that he has never encountered a key like it in his life. Suspecting that the young boy is an avid collector of antique keys, he intends to retrieve his collection of similar keys. As he turns his back, Bode notices a keyhole at the back of the man's neck. Tempted to insert the key into the hole, he refrains as the man turns around and displays his collection. He tells Bode that he doesn't need these keys and allows him to take them. At the school, Nina pays the admission fees. Jo, Tyler's teacher, remarks that her son is intelligent and hardworking, much like his father, Rendell, who was also his student. He mentions that they used to be friends until a tragic incident disrupted their lives. Jo assumes that Rendell must have informed her about everything. However, Nina confesses that her husband never disclosed those details to her. Jo becomes silent, and using the excuse of having a class, he departs. Upon her return home, Nina invites Ellie for a casual conversation, hoping to learn more about what transpired within the group in the picture. Ellie reveals that on the day they graduated, 3 of them drowned in a tragic accident. The incident was so overwhelming that they could no longer discuss it. Ellie believes that this is why Rendell never told Nina about it, as it stirs buried feelings in all of them. As the story unfolds, Bode inserts the key into the back of his neck, resulting in 2 versions of himself: the frozen original in the real world, and the moving version within Bode's mind and memories. Bode discovers a chest with his name engraved on it, and upon opening it, he reveals a world from his memories. Bode from the alternate dimension calls on Kinsey and Tyler once they're in the room. He invites them inside the chest, explaining that they are now in his world. They descend along with him and explore a world filled with memories that are unique to Bode. He takes them to one of his memory rooms, where his father is tucking him into his bed. Returning to the outside of the chest, Bode turns the key, locking the memories of the real Bode and making him mobile again. To safeguard the keys they have, Tyler decides to keep the mirror key with him, while Kinsey holds onto the head key. Meanwhile, Echo ventures to the ruins of Mark's house in search of the key kept in the safe. However, Mark had anticipated her arrival and hidden it out of her reach. Mark's son stands outside the remains, wearing a key around his neck similar to the one Echo holds. She forcibly takes the key from him and tosses him aside. Nina plans to attend a match at her children's school, where Taylor and his team are playing. During the match, one of Tyler's friends attacks Kinsey, leading Tyler to react with force, channeling his anger over his father's death onto the boy. The next day, Nina heads to Jo's office at the school to address the issue. He informs her that Tyler is being punished and will be excluded from the matches for several days. At home, Tyler apologizes to Kinsey, but she declines to discuss it further. Instead, she decides to use the head key to revisit her past memories, and Tyler joins her. As she inserts the key into her neck and turns it, she freezes. Kinsey and Tyler find themselves in a parallel world, accessible through a revolving door, within a mall-like interior. In front of them is a map representing her memories, with icons symbolizing various activities and events in her life. Kinsey clicks on her memories with her father, leading them to rooms filled with recollections of her time with him. They eventually enter a room with storage cubbies on both sides, where she retrieves one cube that transports them to the day after her father's death. There, they encounter a monstrous creature attacking Tyler. Kinsey intervenes with a pointy stick, and they manage to escape the place. She turns the key on the real Kinsey's neck. They discuss the experience within her mind, with Kinsey explaining that the person who attacked Tyler is her embodiment of fear, as Bode had mentioned that feelings take shape in these worlds. Tyler appears troubled, but Kinsey reassures him that she didn't intend to hurt him in any way. Bode is drawn by a mysterious whisper leading him to the location of a new key. He discovers it hidden within a photo and decides to unlock another door. However, the moment he crosses the door's threshold, the real Bode falls to the ground, motionless. In the parallel world, he becomes a ghost and visits his family's cemetery, where he encounters his great-grandfather, Chamberlain. Bode inquires if he can see his father, but he hears his mother's voice calling him home, prompting him to return to his normal state. On his way home, Bode spots Ellie at the well house, calling for someone named Lucas, but he doesn't pay much attention to it. Before crossing the door's threshold, Tyler wakes him up, and Bode returns to his physical body on the ground. Tyler scolds Bode, cautioning him against using these keys alone. Meanwhile, Kinsey uses the head key to bring her fear into the real world. She succeeds but ends up killing it. Kinsey buries the creature in the forest. The next morning, the Locke family notices a change in Kinsey's behavior. She has become more active and open to life. On their way to school, Tyler questions her about the reason behind her transformation, and she shares her story of how she killed her monstrous fear and buried it in the forest. Tyler warned her that she will face the consequences of extinguishing a natural emotion within herself. Kinsey responds that it doesn't matter because she now feels free. Ellie visits Nina, and when asked to share more about the friends in the photo, she reveals that most of them are dead. Only she and her friend Erin remain, with Erin having stopped speaking to anyone for 2 decades and now residing in a mental institution. Ellie further discloses that their favorite meeting place was Rendell's house, specifically the basement. They head down to the basement and find the room sealed off with wooden boards. Driven by her curiosity about her husband's close friends, Nana breaks down the wall to uncover an entire room. Ellie appears to be searching for something without revealing her purpose to Nina. In the mental institution, a nurse informs Erin that she has a visitor for the first time in many years, and it's Echo. It's evident that Echo wants something from her. Echo informs Erin that she will soon enter her memories and learn everything, referring to the head key that Bode found and which is currently with Kinsey. During the night, all the doors in the house are locked, and the light bulbs begin to burn out. Bode realizes that Echo is in the house, seeking the remaining keys, and Echo starts a fire in the kitchen. When they discover the fire downstairs, Kinsey and Tyler rush to assist their mother, leaving Bode alone. Echo confronts Bode, demanding the keys, but he refuses. Echo becomes furious and forcibly takes him outside the house. Meanwhile, Kinsey, Tyler, and their mother successfully extinguish the fire. They realize Bode is missing and begin searching for him. Tyler spots a fire outside the house and finds Bode and Echo within a circle of flames. Echo insists on taking what she came for, but it becomes evident that she cannot obtain the keys without Bode's consent. Understanding this, Bode remains determined not to give her any keys since he holds the power. Frustrated, Echo leaves him alone amidst the flames, which eventually die out. Tyler rushes to Bode and embraces him. In prison, Echo approaches Sam to help her acquire the head key. In exchange, she promises to secure his release from prison, offering him the matchsticks key that was previously with Mark. Back at home, Bode hears mysterious whispers, and as he follows them, he discovers that Kinsey and Tyler are also drawn to the sound. The whispers lead them to the piano, where they find the key. Bode points to a shelf, and Tyler retrieves a small ornate box. Upon unlocking the box, they find that it contains a broken ballerina figurine, and unusual melodies come out from it. Kinsey requests Tyler to remain silent and give her time to solve the puzzle of the box. Remarkably, Tyler finds himself unable to speak, as if his mouth has been sealed shut. They realize that this is the power of the magic key. Anyone who opens the box can control the actions of others. At school, Kinsey shares the existence of the magic keys they found in the house with her friend Scott. As usual, their classmate Eden bullies Scott, prompting Kinsey to use the music box key to stop Eden's snobbish behavior. She controls Eden, making her do funny and embarrassing things in front of everyone. However, Scott asks her to stop, but Kinsey, carried away by her newfound power, doesn't heed his request. She continues along with Gabe. When Nina returns home with Bode from school, she hears sounds coming from below and suspects a thief. She locks the door, but she discovers it's Ellie inside. Ellie justifies her intrusion by claiming she left Rufus's toy there during her previous visit and used the emergency key to enter. Nina appears uncomfortable with Ellie's entrance, and Ellie apologizes, promising not to do it again. During their conversation, Nina notices a scar on Ellie's chest that resembles a keyhole, which is the same as the one Rendell had. Ellie explains it as a scar from an old injury when she fell from a tree, and says she needs to return home because Rufus is alone. Curious and eager to unravel the mysteries, Nina visits Joe and tells him about the recent events in her family. She inquires about the story behind the matching scars on both her husband, Rendell, and Ellie, but their explanations differ. Joe claims he doesn't know and advises Nina to start a new life with her kids, suggesting she stop digging into the matter. However, Nina doesn't heed his advice and decides to visit Ellie's house to find out the truth. Rufus answers the door and informs her that his mother is not at home. Nina questions him about losing any toys recently, and he claims he hasn't lost any, confirming her suspicions about Ellie's dishonesty, but leaving her puzzled as to why Ellie lied. Nina receives a message from Joe, who asks her to come to his house, claiming he has found something mysterious. When she arrives at Joe's house, she discovers the door is open, and to her shock, she finds Joe dead, suffocated with a bag over his head. There's a faint sound coming from the balcony, where Ellie is hiding. However, it remains unclear whether Ellie is the one who murdered Joe or if she found him dead, just as Nina did. Nina calls the police to report the crime. Meanwhile, Kinsey and Tyler hear a whispering voice that guides them to the family cemetery, where they find an urn. Kinsey breaks it open to reveal the memory key. Turning the key, they discover glass jars emerging from under the ground, containing memories of various family members, including their father and Uncle Duncan. They also find a jar with their father involved in a violent confrontation with one of his friends, who had previously been believed to have drowned in the well-known incident that occurred on their graduation day. After Joe's death, Nina reports the murder to the police, informing Officer Daniel that she believes Ellie should be investigated due to her suspicions. However, Daniel dismisses her concerns, insisting that Joe's death was a suicide. Nina argues that Joe couldn't have committed suicide because she found his door open and heard someone inside his house before she arrived. She urges Daniel to look into Ellie, but he claims he doesn't need her instructions. Back at home, Kinsey shares one of the memory jars with her Uncle Duncan. After examining it, he begins to experience the memories as if he is reliving them. However, he soon suffers from a severe headache and quickly forgets everything, much like what happened to Nina. When Tyler returns home, Kinsey informs him about their uncle's reaction to the memory jar and how focusing on a particular memory seems to make the person relive it. They have a jar containing the memory of their father going on a trip with his friends to the sea caves. Kinsey suggests they visit the caves to uncover the truth about whether their father killed his friends. However, Tyler refuses, expressing his discomfort with the entire situation. He discards the key and tells Kinsey that he wants nothing more to do with the magic keys. At school, Kinsey discusses the sea caves with her friends, who are filming scenes. She convinces them to shoot their film there, assuring them that it's a safe and intriguing location that will guarantee the film's success. Her friends agree, and they decide to head to the sea caves to record their film and explore the area. In prison, Sam uses a key to melt the cell bars, and when confronted by a guard, sets the guard on fire before escaping the burning prison. As for Kinsey and her friends, they arrive at the sea caves and are captivated by the beauty of the place. Kinsey hears a whispering sound coming from inside the cave and suggests that they film inside the cave to make their project more exciting. Initially, Scott is reluctant, deeming the cave unsafe and preferring to film outside. However, Kinsey persuades them to enter the cave. Once inside, they are enthralled by its odor. However, Kinsey is more interested in discovering the mystery of her father's memory from the jar. She becomes completely engrossed in following the whispering sound until she reaches a peculiar door emitting a blue light, with the hum of the sound becoming more pronounced. Meanwhile, her friends begin filming, but they notice the water level rising. Scott decides to leave the cave, but they can't find Kinsey. Gabe volunteers to search for her, and when he finds her, he's captivated by the radiant blue light of the door and the enigmatic allure surrounding it. Gabe informs Kinsey about the rising water, forcing her to abandon the mysterious door without uncovering what lies beyond. They swim back to find Scott infuriated, blaming Kinsey for putting them in danger and leading them to lose their photoshoot equipment. Kinsey expresses her indifference toward the film project and states that more important matters occupy her thoughts. Scott loses trust in her and leaves, while Gabe remains curious about the door. He accompanies Kinsey back to her home, where she reveals her inability to unlock the door's secret. Meanwhile, Sam breaks a window in the Locke family's house to retrieve the head key that Echo requested from him. He roams the house without anyone noticing. Eventually, he goes to Tyler's room and closes the door behind him. When Nina hears the door slam, she investigates and is shocked to find Sam pointing a gun at her. Kinsey and Bode notice the broken glass from the window on the floor. Bode concludes that this intruder isn't Echo, as she can move between doors using the Anywhere key. To determine the intruder's identity, Bode uses the ghost key to see inside the house and observes a man in Tyler's room threatening their mother and inquiring about the head key. Bode realizes that the man is Sam, the one who killed his father, and that he's now putting their mother at risk. It becomes clear that the key Sam is after is the one Echo needs to access Aaron's memories. Kinsey hides the key inside a toy, ensuring that even if Sam catches them, he won't be able to find the key with them. Sam comes downstairs with their mother and inquires about the key. Bode, wanting to protect his mother, hands Sam the ghost key, claiming it to be the one he's looking for. Bode's plan is to separate his soul from his body, rendering him harmless. However, Bode's plan fails as Sam realizes that the key he's given isn't the one Echo described. Kinsey informs Sam that the head key is with Tyler, who isn't home at the moment. Sam decides to wait for Tyler's return. Curious about Sam's insistence on this particular key, they learn that he works for Echo, who wants the key to access someone's memories, as it's the only way to reach the black door. Kinsey connects this with the door she saw in the sea caves, suspecting that Aaron is the person Echo wants to access the memories of. When Tyler arrives home, he confronts Sam and punches him. Sam retaliates by using the matchstick key to start a fire. Kinsey admits that the key isn't with Tyler and that she lied to Sam. She claims to have buried the key in the forest. Sam, convinced by her words, unites Bode and Kinsey. He takes them with him to the forest. In a flashback, Sam remembers his friendship with Rendell and how Echo manipulated him, convincing him that Rendell was plotting against him. Echo showed Sam a report in which Rendell had mentioned negative things about him, leading to Sam's transformation into a different person. Echo likely altered the contents of the report to manipulate Sam. In the midst of the chaos, Kinsey leads Sam to the location of the key she claimed to have hidden in the forest. When Sam starts digging, Kinsey's fear, embodied in a horrific creature, emerges from the ground and attacks Sam. Sam eventually defeats the creature using one of his keys. During this time, Kinsey and Bode rush back to the house. Nana stabs Sam from behind. He attempts to strangle her. Eventually, Tyler manages to use the head key to free Sam. In the parallel world, Tyler tells Sam that Echo is manipulating him, and once she gets the keys, she will kill him. Nonetheless, the animated Sam turns off the key at the back of the real Sam's neck. At this crucial moment, Echo appears to take all the keys from Sam. Despite his reluctance to give her the keys, Echo stabs Sam and collects all the keys he has gathered, then uses the Anywhere key to leave the house. Ellie, with her son Rufus, visits Nina to check on her family after the previous day's events. Bode asks his mother to go with Rufus to their home because he has brought a new toy and would like to show it to him. Nina agrees. At Ellie's house, while playing, Lucas joins them, and Rufus pretends that Lucas is his cousin. Ellie rushes home and is surprised to find Lucas in their presence. So far, the exact nature of Lucas and his connection to Ellie and Rufus remains mysterious. Nina discovers the cabinet key's magical properties by using it to repair broken items. She realizes that this key and the cabinet are indeed magical. She conducts an experiment with a torn book, and when she uses the key to unlock the cabinet, the book is magically restored. Nina becomes certain of the key's supernatural abilities. Meanwhile, Tyler and Kinsey decide to investigate the cave and the black door that Kinsey mentioned. In the cave, they find the names of the key keepers engraved on a rock, including their father's name. Kinsey notes that only 2 of these individuals are still alive: Ellie, who is not cooperating with them, and Aaron, who is in a mental institution and doesn't speak. At the mental institution, Echo uses the magical keys to manipulate Aaron's memories. However, she discovers that Aaron is missing from her memories. She searches further and finds a memory where Rendell tells Aaron that he will hide the Omega key in his mind. As the plot unfolds, we get to realize that Echo and Lucas are the same person, and they can transform themselves into one another using the identity key. At this moment, Echo is posing as Lucas in Ellie's house. Nina, hoping to bring her husband back from the dead, places the urn containing Rendell's ashes in the magical cabinet, but doesn't achieve the desired outcome. Frustrated, she throws the urn on the floor, scattering Rendell's ashes. And as Tyler recollects the ashes, he finds the Omega key hidden within them. It appears that Rendell had concealed the Omega key in his mind. Lucas reveals to Ellie that he has entered Aaron's mind and discovered that the Omega key is located in Rendell's mind. In Ellie's flashback, on the day of Rendell's murder when the police arrested Sam, she notices the keyhole mark on Sam's hand. Learning that Echo is behind Rendell's murder, she calls Mark and informs him about the murder. In response, Mark burns himself. It can be inferred that he did this to prevent Echo from obtaining certain information, or because he knew something dangerous that he wanted to keep hidden. It's a drastic step to protect sensitive knowledge. Following these events, Ellie visits Nina's house, where she finds the crown of shadows hidden in the basement. She takes the crown to Lucas, who instructs her on how to retrieve the Omega key. Joe, who overhears Ellie and Lucas's conversation and takes a picture of Lucas, wants to have evidence of this strange encounter. However, when he returns home, Ellie and Lucas are waiting for him. Ellie asks for his phone, and when he hands it over, Lucas suffocates Joe, resulting in his death. They stage the death as a suicide. Upon returning home, Ellie shoots Lucas, but she discovers that her bullets have no effect on him. Lucas reveals that he has been dead for a long time, which explains his immunity to physical harm. He then threatens Ellie, using her son Rufus's safety as leverage to ensure her cooperation. In the present, Bode, Tyler, and Kinsey discuss the memories they found and realize that something mysterious and important is missing from the whole picture. Bode mentions seeing Lucas, who was killed by their father, in Ellie's house. This revelation raises questions about Lucas's true identity and his connection to Echo. Without his siblings' knowledge, Bode goes to Ellie's house and talks to Rufus, revealing that he knows about Lucas's true nature, that he can change his appearance using the identity key, and that he becomes Echo. Rufus shows Bode the Crown of Shadows that Lucas is after. The crown requires the shadow key to become fully activated, and Bode informs Rufus that he has seen a similar key shape in the house. The Crown of Shadows and the shadow key seem to be valuable and powerful items that could be used to confront Lucas or Echo, the mysterious figure who's been manipulating events. At school, the Locks decide to reveal the truth about the magic keys to their friends, Logan, Jack, and Eden. And together with Scott and Gabe, they decide to confront and eliminate the demon. Their discussion is interrupted by a call from Ellie, who asks Kinsey to meet with her. Ellie meets with Kinsey and Tyler and opens up about her past and the events related to Lucas and the Black Door. She explains that she initially did what she did to protect Rufus, but now she wants to get rid of Lucas because he's not her friend and is a dangerous threat. She proceeds to share the story of what happened at the sea caves. Ellie and her friends, including Rendell, had ventured into the sea caves and discovered the Black Door. Curious to see what was behind it, Rendell unlocked the door, and lava-like bullets were shot out, one of which hit Lucas. In a panic, Rendell managed to lock the door. Ellie suggests that Tyler and Kinsey can experience this memory for themselves. Using the head key, they enter Ellie's memories and witness the events that followed the incident. They see Lucas, who had survived